Hey, everybody, welcome to our weekly Ecosystem Office Hours call. I am your host, Jinx, and we are joined, as always, by the best and brightest in the Pocket Network ecosystem. One quick announcement. I will be out of office and the Grove team will be at a conference next week. So we will likely have an alternate host with a lighter attendance. But after that, back to usual. And we will start off with our protocol updates from Olshansky.
Awesome. Thanks for the handoff, Jinx. I'll keep it very short and concise today. So yesterday, V0130 went out. The upgrade on mainnet was nice and smooth, no surprises, which is how we like our protocol upgrades. And so a lot of new improvements off-chain are now on the latest release. Some new experimental features like metadata are on-chain. And in addition to that, I don't know if you guys saw an announcement, but Auto is coming back to the foundation. And I believe with the next release, V0131, we don't have a date for it yet, but I'm looking forward to that going out and getting support from the community, the foundation, Grove, and everyone else to make sure that that's as nice and smooth as can be. That's it from my end, and I'll hand it off to Fred for some path updates.
I'm going to hand it off to Art for some Grove updates.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, this will be a fun update. So if you folks have been on Twitter over the last couple of weeks, and maybe this is just my algorithm because of what they've changed, or on X rather, you see that there's a X402 meta that's been going on. And as you're aware, myself and Fred and Olshansky and others in our ecosystem have been talking about agent payments for almost a year and a half now. And we think all the stars have aligned for us to experiment with building a new product. So today I wanted to announce that we are starting to build something new at Grove. I'm sending the link in the community calls, and I'm sending this as well. But we are starting to build a new product that we are calling the Grove API. And a couple little taglines. One is it's one API for AI tipping and paying humans. Another one is it's bringing Twitch-style micropayments to the rest of the web. Tip to Olshansky for the first one and Fred for the second one. So we have been building a POC or an MVP that is live now for the last few weeks. We have a landing page that's up that I just shared with you all. So we're excited to kind of go into this space. The three of us, myself, Fred, and Olshansky, will quickly explain why right now, and we'll probably talk over each other a little bit, just because we each have three different things here that we are concentrating on. But I will start off with saying that we're in a very unique place on the internet right now where Coinbase is spearheading the X402 initiative, which is a protocol, a non-incentivized protocol that makes use of the standard HTTP 402 response code that has never been implemented, which is when someone tries to go to the website that returns a 402, it means it's waiting for a payment to be received. Once a payment is received, the web page will load. The benefit of something like this is you don't have to make an account, you don't have to log in, put your credit card down, you can just do a payment. The reason this is flying right now is because crypto has reached a point, specifically stablecoins have reached a point of adoption due to the laws that were passed in the US this past summer, which is where the 402 initiative kind of started to gain steam. And we are taking advantage of this time frame by starting to build in this ecosystem to enable micro tipping or micropayments. But rather than doing agent to agent micropayments, which is where everyone is concentrating on, we are taking a different tack and doing agent to human payments. At which point I will pause for a moment because I'm pretty sure Olshansky or Fred may want to jump in with some more context. So do either of you want to jump in and take it from here?
Yeah, I'll jump in first. So this is one of the first kind of updates about this new product. Thanks for the intro. What I'll say is we've learned a lot about the issues with RPC and the upsides of RPC and how to handle it on a large scale, a small scale, a decentralized scale, a cheap scale, and extensive scale, right? So tons and tons of learnings. And what we really want to do, to reiterate Art's point, is Twitch-like tipping on the rest of the web. Now, whether it uses X402 or MCP or one RPC endpoint or multiple RPC endpoints, the thing is that the rails to make this happen are here today. Fast, instantaneous tips and micropayments online. They were not here 10 years ago. They were not here 5 years ago. They were talked about on the Bitcoin forums like 15 years ago. And in 10 years, they're already going to be here. So what we're excited about is there's going to be a lot more traffic on chain by enabling something like this. And we are, for lack of a better word, building in the same way that Coinbase introduced custodial Bitcoin kind of in 2013. We're going to be doing the same thing for micropayments. And one big opportunity here is also to drive a lot more traffic on chain. And you guys will see that soon. And I'm going to pause as well because we'll have websites and FAQs and everything else so you guys can try it out yourself. So as soon as we send those out, feedback from you guys on using it is kind of how we're going to drive real demand on chain. I'm going to pause as well. And Fred, if you have anything to add, jump in. If not, I'm sure we'll have something to add in weeks and months to come.
Yeah, I'll just add that I think this speaks to the maturity of, or at least Grove's perceived maturity of the entire stack, the blockchain, the path stack, and now our ability to build a different and viable on-chain business on top of the Pocket Network and the existing infrastructure that we have. I know that there have been some concerns about the path stack and even some concerns with the chain, but I think this is the testament right here that we're getting ready to build something new and exciting on top of everything else that we've built today.
So I will jump in and say that I've just shared a 10 or 11 slide. You can call it a pitch deck. It's more of an information deck. It explains the why now in a little more depth. It explains what the landscape looks like. It explains also all the different revenue models that we have. Given that we're a for-profit, equity-based business, we're always looking to return more value to the shareholders of the company. There are no less than 5 different ways to monetize this. So the way we think about this product, and again, this is something new. We're just kind of going to be shooting from the hip for a bit until we find where potential PMF may be. But the idea is we will sit in between a group of, I'm going to use one specific example. It's one of many, but the one that's easier to grok is there are a whole host of companies that exist that perform inference. And there's a whole bunch of lawsuits that have happened because of the inference that these perform either during or when they do their training runs, these big chatbots, LLMs. The idea is to create a neutral third party that acts as an attribution, logging, and custody layer so that when a training run happens for a new model or when inference is happening in real time, an API call can be made to Grove that will attribute that model X has inferred or used data through inference directly or through RAG from content creator Y and is willing to pay that content creator. So what will happen is Grove will take custody of funds for a period of time, and at some point in the future, we'll pay content creator Y for the request that model creator or inference provider X made. So the way you can make money in this scenario is 1, there's float. There's a time between receiving money and taking it out. You can earn interest on that. 2, the transaction volume that a inference provider will be doing as it scales. You can charge more. If any of you have ever used any type of crypto tax tool, that's how they make their money, is based on transaction volume. 3, there is swaps, right? So if fiat is deposited, but the creator only wants to take crypto as a payment, like a non-stable payment or even stable, you need to do a conversion fee. So there's money to be made on the swap. There's also the actual payment remittance. There's a fee to be made there. And finally, the 5th one is we are logging all of this data for the sake of attribution. But if you anonymize all that data, you basically have the current zeitgeist of what is being inferred and being thought about. And at that point, you can monetize that data to anyone who is trying to figure out what is important or what is useful right this moment. So there's a way to actually double dip into the data that we get. So as you can tell by me saying this, is we've actually been thinking about this for a very, very long time. We've just now found the most opportune time to execute on this strategy, which is why we've done it now. So review that deck if you want, share it amongst your friends. We have the groves.city/API website, which I shared. There's a waitlist button there. Please sign up. Sometime before the end of the quarter or no later than January, we will be sending out invites. I will say that we already have a working proof of concept. We've done some test transactions. You'll see on X402 scan, you'll see the Grove API listed there. So yeah, this is a very real thing that we are experimenting with right now.
Outstanding. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. I will say that this is a shining example of the fact that we are pushing POKT to be a builder ecosystem, and we've been looking into a lot of incubator type models where we can help encourage additional product building on top of the ecosystem that makes use of the fact that we sit in the center of all of Web3 and all of the data streams crossing from everywhere. So I'm really excited to see how this product evolves. Does anybody have any questions about it? All right, cool. Well, obviously, some of y'all may have seen the Twitter this morning, and we see that he's here in the call today, Veriton, which is also Otto Vargas, who is now joining the foundation from head of protocol perspective. He'll be helping to drive our community engineering initiatives and to oversee projects and products that the foundation is funding along, with grants and bounties and all the rest of those things. So I won't put him on the spot today, but you'll certainly see and hear a lot more from him over time. Also, for those of you who are participating in testnet, first of all, thank you. We appreciate you. And second of all, Jorge has been in the process of rebuilding some of the infrastructure that we have so that we are running an independent testnet gateway there, along with some additional validators and such. So I will let him give a quick update on that.
Yes, hello everyone. So in this week we get a full production ready cluster with 3 seeds for beta, 3 validators for beta, and in the next coming days we will be releasing also path. That is what I was asking Fred and Arthur and Olshansky about deployment tooling for that. So hopefully for the end of the week, maybe for the start of the next week, we should have path working with the Helm charts they already have there.
Did we lose you?
Hello?
Yeah, you dropped out.
No, I do not have so much more without enter on deep details. If you want,
okay.
I can.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It just, you suddenly went quiet, so I wasn't sure if you were finished or not. Good. Well,
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
We appreciate the work. I've been watching the long days that you've been putting in getting the infrastructure set up. So thank you very much for that. Tracy, you want to give us an update on F-Chains?
Hey guys, good morning, afternoon. I am reevaluating some of the F-Chain data. So based on a couple of feedbacks from some of the node runners, some of the off-chain participants, so I will be reaching out individually to see where you guys are. Other than that, F-Chains is good. Node Fleet and Pocket Pool, you guys are on. Can you just let me know when you're ready for the validators? And after that, all of the validators that we have that we've allocated to will be set up. And I don't think the documentation's going greatly. There's actually a couple of community members that did reach out after the last call that want to be a little bit more involved. So again, if there's anyone out there that wants to be more involved in the documentation, please reach out. And that's all I've got for today.
Yeah, I will reiterate that the docs rewrite, which it is live now, but there is just a massive, massive amount of content when you look at the entire ecosystem, across all of the different functionality, across primary tooling, secondary tooling, all the different forms of staking, etc. We've had a solid team working to get all of that consolidated and organized into one. We can always use some more helping hands on that for anyone who feels like contributing a little time there. So please do. And I think that's all of our primary agenda right now. Does anybody have questions, points, topics, comments? Seems like everybody's in pretty good shape. We have an interesting conversation, just to call it out, in Discord right now in regards to the some of the session handling stuff. There were some interesting theoreticals that were brought up, and just talking about session handling in general. Fred dropped or not a link, but a suggestion that people should dig into the QoS module to get a better understanding of that in chewing on some of the questions around session handling. So if you haven't seen that conversation, I encourage you to take a look and to dig into the QoS module that he was referring to. I think as part of developing additional SDKs and implementations of Path and such, that will be one of the questions that comes into play in regards to like QoS filtering and tiered services and all those other types of things that we've talked about. All right. Well, always happy to give you all some of your time back. If nobody else has anything else they want to cover today, then we will see you sort of same time next week, same channel. But then I will be back again the following Wednesday. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all always coming out and making time for these.